today's lab task is about Hive. So we know that Hive is kind of, data warehouse software running on Hadoop. So today we're going to see how, use Hive QL language to build tables, to send queries to Hive, and how Hive executes the queries. Okay, so this is the aim of today's task. So firstly, as before, you have to access Hadoop virtual machine because Hive is running over Hadoop, right? So I'm assuming that you have knowledge of accessing Hadoop virtual machine. If you don't know how to do that, you can review previous videos or lab documents to know how to access Hadoop virtual machine. Okay. So you can see that I have accessed my virtual machine. So firstly, we have to go to terminal. So you can see that we have to go to my terminal. Yeah. Okay. So next step, we have to start Hadoop machine, but Hadoop virtual Hadoop system. But you can do if you don't know whether your Hadoop is running or not, you can use command hdfs -ls to check whether it's working. Okay, so you can see that it's just listing all documents on Hadoop system. So I think my Hadoop is working well. If your Hadoop is not working well, give you some error information. So in this case, you can do stop -o dot sh to stop existing running of Hadoop. Okay, and then you can just run two commands: start -dfs.sh and start -yarn.sh. Okay, so I think it's easy, right? Okay, so also like before, we have to go to our workspace. So you can use just copy commands. We go to the workspace, the directory called workspace. Okay, sorry. Yeah, workspace. Yeah. And then we go to the next step. We have to copy the Lab7 directory from this as folder into our current workspace directory, right? So we can there are two ways, but here I just give cp commands. Cp commands just for copying folders or files from the source directory to the destination directory. Okay, so you can just copy this command and copy into terminal and execute. Okay, so now let's say, okay, so you can see that Lab7 directory has been copied to the directory workspace. Okay, then next step we have to go to the Lab7 yeah, sorry. Yeah. Go to the Lab7 directory, so you can see that. Yeah, so two files, book.csv and pride.csv, the two files we're going to use for today's lab task. Okay, and then we have to upload the two CSV files, book and pride, the two files onto Hadoop. So we know that command, right? Just use put command. Yeah, I think it's okay. And then we have to upload the price CSV file onto Hadoop by using this command, put command. Okay, it's going well. And then for book CSV file, it contains some fields or properties, it's being some related information about books. And now next step, we're gonna go further. We have to go to Hive CLI. CLI means command line interface. So with that interface, within this interface, you can input Hive command or to execute queries, Hive QL queries. Okay, so if we want to access, we have to input the command hive in the terminal. So you can see that hive is command. Yeah. Yeah, so you can see that it indicates that we successfully access Hive CLI interface. Okay, so now the first step, we have to build a table called book. So this is a command for building that table, the kind of the schema of this table book, right? So you can see that includes some fields like an ISBN, title, author, year with different types, author with type string, year with type integer, right? Publisher, and URL1, URL2, URL3. Okay, and you can see that the fields will be separated by the comma, the symbol. Okay, so we can directly copy this command. This is for building table book. Okay, we just copy here and execute. Okay, so it's working well. And next up, we have to load the data into the book table we just built. We just load data. It has been uploaded on to Hadoop. That is book.csv, right? So we can use the load command, load data imports book.csv, to this book table we just built. Okay, you can copy the command to the terminal, Hive CLI interface. Yeah, so I think it's working well. And we can go further. Okay, so next up, we're gonna build another table, price. I think price, and we're gonna load data from price.csv, right, into this table, then into the table price. Okay, so you can build on your own. So I give you several seconds. You can think of how to do this step. You can just give some, give a try to do this step. Okay. Okay, I think you might have way to do that step. So actually, this is my way. So you can see that I just use create table, this command, and this is the name of that table with some fields like ISBN, title, author, year, publisher, and number sold with type integer, right? And I think it's very similar to the previous command for building table book, right? So we can copy here. You had to do it by yourself, okay? You had to do it by yourself. It's not included. It's not included in the lab document. Okay, so we encourage you to do that by yourself. Okay, so you can. This is my command. Okay, yeah, I think it's okay. And then we have to load data, right? So we can load data from the book, the price.csv, right? So we can copy here. Sorry, no. Sorry, or we can because we had to do some modification to the previous command, right? This is for loading data from book.csv, but now we want to use modify and to load data from price, right? And to table price, right? So yeah, so this is command we need. Okay, then we go back to the terminal and pass the command here. Yeah, I think it's fine. Okay, it's okay, right? Okay, next up, you can see that I just list some queries, HiveQL queries, so you can run each query on Hive. All you need to do is just copy the select these queries and into the Hive CLI interface and execute them. So this is a very simple query, right? Very similar to SQL language. So you just show everything in the table book, right? So you can see that it's very easy. Next query, I think is a little bit complex. That is, because it use some operation like group by. So you can see the result, select year, count, title. The fields very interesting. From book this table, and we use group by this operation over field here, right? This is the meaning of this SQL, not SQL, Hive language. Okay, so we just copy language the query here and see. You can see that for running this SQL, not SQL, Hive language, the query, and it's gonna use MapReduce, right? Because we know Hive is running on Hadoop, right? So you can see that to execute this query, MapReduce is gonna do some work, right? You can see the map and reduce work. So this is the result. So you can see that this is a two column, right? The first column indicating each year, and then the second column indicating the count of the books for each year, right? Okay. So you can do further. You can do further. Just copy some queries into Hive CLI to see the results. Okay. So because it's very similar to SQL language. So if you have some knowledge of SQL language, I think it's very easy for you to understand the meaning, right? So for this one, we just try to find out, the book, after 1990, right? Yeah. So you can see the results are here, right? So I'm not gonna do every query here. So I hope you could do that and try to find out, the meaning for each query. Okay. If you don't know the meaning, you can ask your tutor and get more help. Okay. Okay. So next step, just to write the results of your query to a file, and so you can try, to output the query to your local disk. So we're gonna use insert override local directory, and this is the directory is gonna be for holding results, right? So you can define the name of the directory as a Hive result, and the / here actually means the only means current working directory. So our current working directory, actually I can't show here because if I want to show the current working directory, I have to quit Hive, but I don't want to do that now. So you can see that I just show you our current working directory is works home, workspace, lab 7. Yeah, so this lab 7 is our working directory. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so what you need to do now is just copy this command. So you can see that this command, this is the query, just try to write the results of this SQL the select queries with author and number of count the count author information from table book, and the result will be written to this folder called Hive result. Okay, so let's copy this command and to execute. Let's see what's going to happen. Yeah, so you can see that it's going to use MapReduce to run this command. This is the query actually. Okay, so you can see that results have been written to the local disk, and the directory is called Hive result. So if you want to see the result on your local disk, you can create. If you want to create Hive, you can create Hive, but now maybe we don't have to. We just go to the working directory, workspace, Lab 7, right? And you can see Hive result. It's just directory we had built for receiving for holding the results, right? Result. You can see that this is the result. So we can open with Genie. Open. Let's find out. Genie. Yeah, Genie. Yeah, so you can see the result, right? The author with some, the count information, right? Okay, so this is the result. Yeah. Okay, let's get back to the terminal. Yeah, let's get back to terminal and let's say, yeah. So you can see the result from, this folder, Hive result. And then we're gonna have two more complex queries. So you can see that the two queries containing some join operation, right? We need to join two tables in Hive, the book table and the price table, right? So this is so that's why I said it's a little complex, because you had to do the join operation with the two tables to join two tables, right? So with this query or with this select query, we can join in two tables and get some results. So we just copy the results here. You can see that it's gonna send the query to MapReduce and do the join operation. So that's quite useful, right? Quite useful, because if you don't use Hive, if you want to use MapReduce, Java MapReduce to write a program to do the join operation, it takes a long time, right? You have to design a program and classes to implement the join operation. It's kind of hard, and you may have to write maybe hundreds of lines or even more to implement this task. But with Hive, it has been implemented in Hive, right? So you can use just join this operation to join two tables, book and price, right? So let's say what do we have got with this query? Yeah. So this is the result we have got, right? Yeah. That means it's working well, right? So now, of course, I think the second one is similar to this one. We just run. I'm not gonna run this second one. You can, if you have time, you can do that. You have to understand the results. What you have got for the two queries. So I think you should know there exists the join operation, two tables, book and price, right? And price author equals book author, right? And you want to know information about the price, the author of price, and the count of the book title, right? So I think if you have some knowledge of the SQL language, I think it's easy to understand. The only kind of difference is the join operation, join, right? Okay. Okay, so now we can do further to create. If you want to create Hive, it's very easy. You can use just create, input create word, and with semicolon, and you can create Hive. You can go back to your working directory Lab 7, right? So you want to create, and actually you can, if you don't want to access the Hive CLI, but you want to, maybe you want to do some send query to Hive, so you can use this command Hive with parameter -e. So in this case, you can with some string which indicate Hive query, right? So in this case, you can just copy here. You can see what's gonna happen. Right, so it's Hive. Note that we are not in the interface of Hive. We are now in the terminal, and Hive, this is the command, and with parameter -e. That means we just outside of say a Hive system, right? Hive CLI system, but we want to execute this Hive QL query select star from book, and with only 3 results we want, right? So you can see that. Yeah, so you can see that Hive is gonna send. Actually this query will be executed by Hive, but we don't have to access Hive CLI interface, right? So this is I think it might be convenient, right? Okay, so next up, we go, this one is similar to this one, but we still, try to execute queries, Hive queries, without accessing the Hive CLI interface. So the difference is that we can actually, for some, complex queries, we can, write the queries, those complex queries into a single file with file extension .q or .sql, right? So it's up to you. It's up to you. .q or .sql. I think it's fine. So what you need to do now is just to input command Hive with parameter -f and the parse to this specific query language query file, right? So it's very just to give an example. Suppose that we want to this one is just an example of Hive QL query. So maybe we can build something. Maybe we can in that new so we can maybe go to our working directory lab workspace lab 7. So maybe we can create document. So you can right click, you can use a graphic interface of your Hadoop virtual machine and right click, and then you can create document amplify, right? You can say task q query dot q, right? Okay, and you can open it with Genie, and you can input query here, right? Without code or symbols. Okay, so you can just copy, save, and you can see that. Okay, so what do we need to do now? You just go back to the terminal, right? And input the parse because let's see, because the current query.q, that query file has been in the working directory lab 7. So in this case, what we need to just Hive with parameter f and query.q, right? We don't have to keep the full parse because this query.q, this file has been in the directory working directory lab 7. Okay, if query.q is in another directory instead of lab 7, your current working directory, you might have to give full path. Okay, but now we just give a simple way, just use a simple way, just so we don't have to give the full path, right? Okay, so let's say what we're gonna have. Yeah, I think it's similar, right? Similar to the previous, result, right? So yeah, so that's it. Okay, so we have done all our tasks. Okay, so if you have more questions, we want to know more information about Hive, Hive QL language or Hive QL queries, you can find more information on our Moodle page. You can find, Hive Hadoop Hive commands, right? They give you a list of, useful, Hive commands. Select, some select, queries for sorting backward, for counting rows, for retrieving some, out of the records. A lot of, useful information you can find from this, document. You can find this document on our Moodle page on the, under, section of lecture 6. Okay, so that's all for today's tutorial video. Yeah, good luck.